Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Derek here, and we are back reacting to another episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor. This is episode 4. It's called The Way It Came. Last time, what happened on The Haunting of Bly Manor? Last time was called The Two Faces Part 1, and it was mainly focused on like the backstory of Rebecca Jessel, like the former au pair, and Peter Quint, who is like her manipulative love interest. He's like the ghost that we saw at the end of episode 2. And at first, he seemed okay. Like, he seemed like a fine gentleman. He had a nice accent. But then as the episode progressed, he just got increasingly more and more like unhinged and like manipulative, to the point where, you know, a seemingly innocent interaction between her and Owen and the kids and everyone else, he took that as her like just opening her legs, and he's like, all right, I'm leaving. If you're gonna flirt with him in front of me, like, we're done, like, I'm gone. And I don't know how she wasn't just like, yo, screw you, dude. Like, she's like head over heels for this man, and it seemed like she was about to apologize to him, which I was like not a fan of. And then like cut to the future, you know, they're dealing with trying to cope with, they think, you know, someone's here trying to antagonize them, so they're trying to cope with that, having a sleepover. And there's some nice like bonding between Danny and Jamie, the gardener, where their budding romance is starting up. You know, they're giving each other longing looks and, you know, glances, and at the end they touched each other's hand, and it was like, oh, like, precious, they're gonna be dating soon, unless they both die. But yeah, that was real nice. And then then the kids told this weird story where well, Flora told a story about being a cat, and that was like somewhat okay. And then Miles told this weird story about being a puppet and a puppet master, and he seemed like really personally angry. And I didn't catch this during the thing, but then I saw some discussion about this particular episode, not anything past it, but just this specific episode. I saw some discussion about like, is Miles possessed by Peter now? Like, was that Peter talking and not Miles? Like, I don't know. Either way, we'll find out, I assume. But yeah, but then we get a phone call. Owen's mom died. Heartbreaking for Rahul. Rahul, bad boy of Funhouse. His character has a sad day. He leaves to go tend to his mother. Danny and Jamie have their like little like, ooh, dang, who knew you were on my team type thing. And then Danny sees Ghost of Christmas Past, Spooky Boy, outside. Like, he's not hiding in reflections. He's just standing in front of her. The reflection of his glasses seemed like orangish, like there was fire or something. And then he got sucked back into the house. So that's how the episode ended. I don't know what that means yet. Possibly she killed her ex-lover for some reason. I don't know why yet, though. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But before we jump into the episode, please consider leaving a like on the video if you like what you see. Please consider subscribing if you want to see more of my reactions. That means a lot to me. And then if you're interested in seeing my full-length reaction to this episode, head down to my Patreon, linked in the description. And yeah, that's fun too. But other than that, let's jump into this episode. Here we go. Is this supposed to be Danny and her lover?
You're blind. Can you tell it's me? Of course I can. I see you every day.
Yep, they obviously fell in love.
You like it?
Yeah, absolutely. You're beautiful.
So she killed this guy, right? Or let him die. She has guilt about something. Pink walls, that's gross. Okay, so this man definitely died. The question is how. She didn't seem super into his speech. I don't. Obviously, she seems to not fully be on board Team Straight, as evidenced by previous episodes. So who knows?
I always hoped I'd have a daughter I could give this to. I'm so proud of my sons, but I don't think
Well,
this
now
will suit
she
any of them.
has to wear this because
Well,
you
maybe Carson.
freaking
Anyway,
put all this pressure on her.
I don't know what to say.
Say no.
Just say
Super say no.
good morning, Mrs. Omar.
She's got some doubts here. Wow. She... Oh, I was like, what is she asleep?
Come in. Oh, you look.
Oh, they're going to Owen's mom's funeral. I was like, why are they dressed in all black?
Now, can you help me get this thing off?
Fine.
Seriously. The zipper.
Right.
Precious.
Thank you.
Did I pinch her?
No, I'm sorry.
The au pair found that she lit her candle not in remembrance of those that she lost, but to atone for the moments she didn't remember them. Those most recent moments where she'd even been happy to have forgotten them.
Yo, that drawing, this is gonna be a creepy drawing, isn't it? Viola Lloyd. Who is that? She died in 1980.
Any chance of a brew?
I'll make tea.
No. I'll make it.
You suck at tea.
Chocolate fingers off.
That's Ghost Man.
Poppins, you alright?
Edmundo,
Yeah.
you gotta chill, bruh. Quit being such a spooky man.
I need it.
Okay, Pete. What you doing, bruh? Cool your jets there, psycho.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
What happened?
I thought he was Peter Quint.
She's ridiculous. I'm much better looking.
Damn right. Oh, Owen, with your thick mustache.
There's no damage.
Yo, you're gonna have to explain some stuff, Danny. You know, all these people just watching you lose your mind.
You're not dying, you know.
What?
When Mum and Dad died, I thought I was going to die too. I was sure of it. But then I thought, what if I was already dead? But nobody else knew, and I was walking around dead, but everybody could see and hear me. That was dreadful. It
Wow.
only felt like dying. Because actually, I was still alive. You have to be to feel that way. I wasn't dead. I was just really, really sad. But then I learned the secret. I didn't even need to be sad anymore.
That was super, super deep.
Dead doesn't mean gone. So, you don't need to be sad.
Miss Clayton, I think I ought to be allowed a glass of wine.
No.
I don't want it watered down. I want an actual bloody drink.
No.
Ooh. Possessed little boy? What's up with you, child? Yo, Flora didn't do nothing wrong. She's a sweet little angel with her deep, deep, deep words of wisdom. And this kid's a little psycho.
You know.
What the F? It's not supposed to do that. Yo. The house does it on its own. It's a possessed little miniature house. Who's that? That's Peter. Peter's in the house with the boy.
Have Miles or you seen Peter Quint since he left? Maybe you let him into the house?
No, of course not. We don't let him in the house. It's not how it works.
How does it work?
What are you looking at?
I'm sorry?
You do that a lot. You look over my shoulder. What are you looking at?
I don't know what you mean.
Yo, is Miles straight up actually possessed by Peter? Peter was in Miles'
That was
room.
quite the display, wasn't it?
So this is where the gif comes in of Owen. Yo, Hannah's spaced out. She doesn't know what's going on.
I know. Yeah, I thought you wanted a big wedding. If you don't, that's all perfectly well and fine.
I thought I wanted it. I
She
wanted
thought she wanted you.
to want it.
She doesn't want you, though.
So
For a second, I thought you were going to say you didn't want to get married at all.
She super doesn't.
I can't.
What did I do? What didn't I do?
You're just not a girl.
What's it like, Danielle?
I should have said something sooner.
Yeah, you think?
I didn't want to hurt you or your mom.
You didn't want to hurt me, huh?
And I love you so much. Even still, it's just not. I don't.
You, Danielle.
Okay, that's a little bit of a harsh reaction.
Okay. Yeah.
But he also just had, like, his whole life kicked out from under him.
You've done enough!
I'm sorry. Eddie! Eddie!
Jeez. I shouldn't be laughing, but oh my god. Okay, so she didn't kill him. But inadvertently he died because of her, in a sense. But he also, you know, part of it's on his reaction.
Oh, I love a bonfire.
It's, you know, not her
I should
fault.
have been a little girl again.
He just got fucking smoked by that bus.
Yeah, in the old
Or a
days.
garbage truck or whatever that was.
In the really old days. Used to build giant bonfires this time of year. Talk about the people they'd lost. Toss in offerings to drive away evil spirits. Old bones mostly.
I remember that's why they call it a bonfire, isn't it?
As I was saying, that's why it's called a bonfire. From the Old English meaning bonfire. Build a
So, my mum, she was 67.
Dang.
Except sometimes, by
Early.
the end, she forgot that. Called me mum. So they left out all the bad stuff. And all the good stuff. They didn't say how funny she was. How she would wink at you from across the breakfast table. She had a sweet tooth. And she loved me so hard it hurt. Sometimes. She was gone long before she died. And I miss her. She was my anchor.
Rahul is killing it
And
here.
then I suppose she was my blood. Christ,
There's the gif.
she seemed so small at the end, but still so heavy. And all I could do was just let her hang on to me until it was time to let go. And soon I'll let her go too.
God dang, Rahul. Freaking kill it. Atta boy. That was nice. Oh. Don't.
So well, honey. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So those were headlights. She didn't kill him then. I was wrong.
Excuse me!
Makes sense that she left if she wasn't super close to her mom, and then she didn't want to hurt his family.
Right before.
Like seconds before.
Yeah, you're right. Right before.
Jesus, Danny, the same day.
It's the same minute. The same 6 seconds.
I feel like you can't find him.
Ooh. First time she's kissed a girl. She's finally embracing who she is. And I think that's nice. He's right there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just he wants to join.
I brought something else too.
Yo, she looks at you, all she sees is the expectations that she'd been holding over herself for so long. Dude, she doesn't want those.
Alcohol you later.
God, even for you. Drive safe. Know the road.
God, I love Owen so much. Bruh, go take those glasses and throw them in the fire. You need to move on.
Miss Clayton?
She's not there. Is that
Miles?
her room? Why? Is spooky lady in your bed room?
A creature in my bed.
Is there someone walking behind her that they don't want her to see?
And I was reaching out and it knew my name and it said it wanted to do awful things.
Ooh, yep.
And it had bone sounds.
Spooky.
That sounds off.
Yo. Who they know? Do they know who this? Miles looked like he was about to cry.
Sorry, Flora. That sounds like an awful dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, this got hella spooky. This is the most like upfront they've been about the ghosts. Both these kids know that this ghost is happening. Ghost lady was straight up in her house.
Sweet girl.
Okay, so positioning of the house to her dresser, where she normally has the lady, is that like where the lake would be in correlation to the actual house? So when she's like laying down by the dresser, she's in the lake? Yeah, you know these kids didn't do that.
Talk about this in the morning.
Burn the glasses! Cast them into the fire! Yeah, I thought I saw someone in the background. Is that a person back there? No, there's a person right there, though. What up, Eddie? What it do, baby? It looks like there's a man back there.
It's just you and me then.
Might be the tree, but that looks like a person. Yo, Ed, sit down. Sit down for a goodbye, Eddie. Dang, that episode was like super like somber and sad and deep. When they talk about a slow burn, man, this show is a heck of a slow burn, but it's like it's just sad and dark and deep, and it's not a scary show. It's just like I don't know, man. I don't know if the word to describe this show is sad or scary or it just is. It's deep. I like it so much. Okay, so we got some important backstory on like what's been going down, like what the dealio with her fiance is. So I've been assuming maybe that she killed her fiance or that he was like mean or abusive to her. Not the case. It turns out he was a nice dude. They were best friends growing up, and he fell in love with her, and she thought maybe she fell in love with him, but wasn't quite there. But then all this like pressure, like she just assumed like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I've definitely felt that way, not in a relationship necessarily, but like in a when you're on a path of life and you're so far on that path, you're like I can't turn back now. Like there's so much expectation of like if I stop, if I go a different way, like there's so much disappointment that will come from family, from friends, from whatever. And this is definitely the path she was on. Like I think deep down probably knew she wasn't into him. She could be bisexual, she could be just like regular. She could just be a lesbian, who knows. But she's not straight, obviously. And I think deep down she knew that, as much as she loved Edmund as like a friend, and like they probably still like would have been best friends, like that's probably how she felt about him, but she knew deep down that romantically like they were not the right fit. And we're led to believe that she swings the other way in terms of liking girls. With the girl who was doing her dress fitting was flirting with her. One thing that I don't like in media like TV, movies and stuff is like whenever there's a character who is not fully sure of their like sexual identity, or like maybe they're starting to drift that way, there's always a character that they put in that like is that way and is like obviously like hardcore flirting, as if they know that character is also that way. So like the dress fitter like was like touching her back, like being all flirty, like almost like talking to her in code, being like, I don't know. Like the dress fitter seemed to clearly know, like, you are not straight. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. That's just a little pet peeve, but it's not a huge deal. But yeah, we get some backstory on that, and just how they're not in a great place. But she hasn't told him. She hasn't brought any of this up about like not being super into it. Like, so he thinks everything's great. We get some stuff with Flora making like what did she call them? Not paintings or engravings, but she's putting paper over like stone engravings and just drawing over them so that the paper, it goes on the paper. And we see a person. What is this person's name? Vivian something. Viola Lloyd. And there's another one, Marg Bruh. I don't know who Viola Lloyd is. Died in 1980, so like 40 years ago. Our time. 40 years ago, our time. I'm guessing this story takes place in the past, because none of it seems to be like, there's no cell phones, and she's wearing like outfits that look like they're in the 90s, so who knows. I'm not sure exactly. I forgot. I definitely said at the beginning when this is set, and I just freaking forgot. So 80 probably wasn't that long ago from this storyline. But so she can't bring herself to go to Owen's funeral, not Owen's funeral, Owen's mom's funeral, because funerals are not a good place. She just thinks of the dead, and then she thinks of Eddie, and there's just so much expectation and like image forming that she can't confront about herself or Eddie or really any of this right now. So she stays home, and little do they know, Owen comes, and they're all having this nice dinner and being all cute, and Flora says some like really deep stuff about like, people aren't gone when they're dead. I think Flora is saying this from like a ghosty, spooky position of being like, she literally sees dead people. I like to take it as like, there was a scene in the Boys just recently where Frenchie's talking to Kimiko about her brother, and he's talking about like, someone isn't really gone until the last person who knew them is gone. And so I take that as like, Owen, your mom's still here. You remember the good parts of her. You also remember the bad parts of her, but like you remember her. So she's not fully gone. She's here with you, but she's saying it in a spooky way. Miles, probably possessed by Peter in some sense, whether that's 100% of the way or 5% of the way. He's like, I want some wine, damn it. I'm an adult. And they're like, you know what? You need to go to bed. And then this freaking spooky house is doing spooky things. Flora keeps looking over her shoulder and she doesn't explain why. And then they had a real nice scene at the bonfire where they're talking about like the origins of the word bonfire and like what that means, and they start to talk about people they're trying to give up or let go of who have passed on. And freaking Rahul just kills it. Oh my god, Rahul Kohli, you're fantastic. I love you deeply. You're amazing in iZombie. Your comedic timing was fantastic in that show. You're great in any Funhouse things you've been in. You're just a fantastic actor, and I love you deeply. But you freaking killed this scene, dude. Like, oh my god, it was just heartbreaking. Talking about, oftentimes when people die, you don't talk about the hard things. You smooth things over, like you said. You in doing that, you take away from who that person was. And he doesn't want to forget anything about her. Like, the hard stuff was hard, but the good stuff was so good, and she loved him deeply, and that's what he'll remember. But he has to let her go. And it was super sad. But then after that, we get the full backstory of like why she feels so guilty and why she keeps seeing Edmund in the reflections, and what the lights in his glasses were. So they're at dinner, and he's trying to just give her a nice night where she doesn't have to think about all this stuff, but she's been thinking about it constantly. And he's like, we don't have to have a big wedding, and she's being like, dude, I don't want to have a wedding at all. And to a certain extent, maybe he should have recognized this in her, and you know, he wasn't looking past his own desires in that sense. But she also didn't say anything or give him any hints, apparently, according to the scene. And obviously that is incredibly upsetting. He reacts a little harshly. But you know, it's so tough because I feel for him, because like in his mind he's been in this relationship for years and years, and it's his belief that both parties in this are like fully on board. Like, he's clearly in love with her, thinks he's about to spend the rest of his life with this woman. It's about to be the greatest time of his life. And she just kind of like, she kicks his feet out from under him and is like, I'm not gonna marry you. Like, I should have said, like, I've known this for a long time and I didn't tell you. So he's feeling like double betrayed of like you've just, in his mind, maybe like he's like, you ruined my life, like, but I don't, maybe not, that's what but he thinks like, you've hurt me a lot here. And she's just like, ugh. And he's upset, he's angry. You know, maybe he would have cooled down and they would have been able to talk like rational adults, but you know, he gets out of the car, he's got to walk it off, but it's literally as soon as he gets out of the car, just smoked by like a truck. And oh man, I shouldn't have laughed in that scene, but it was honestly kind of hilarious. And you know, she's struggling to let go of that, and she sees him everywhere and she can't move on with her life. But she eventually takes her own advice and she picks someone to be in her life. And it's not an easy process. It's not like a one and done type process. So she's kissing Jamie, and you want it to be like a, all right, everything's fixed now, we can move on with our lives. But she still sees him because, you know, obviously that's a deep thing. You don't just get over that immediately. Jamie's a little hurt by that, I think, but you know, I think they'll go on. And then she's gonna finally take the glasses and go burn them, and Flora sees Ghost Lady like at her bed, maybe, or like coming into the house, and she's like, frick, we gotta go stop her or she'll die too. I'm assuming maybe this lady in the lake killed Rebecca in some form. Like, maybe Rebecca left her room at night and found the lady in the lake, and the lady in the lake killed her. But these kids are like, yo, we have to distract you so this lady can walk by and then you'll be fine. And yeah, so the kids are like fully aware. I don't know what's gonna happen with those people, but this is like the first time they've like full on addressed the ghosts in the show, other than Edmund, like the spooky ghosts in the house I'm talking, where they've, other than when she shushed that one ghost, this is the first time the kids have like almost admitted like, yeah, there's ghosts here and we see them. And they're trying to protect her, even though Miles is low-key like possessed. I don't know what the deal is with him. But yeah, she goes and she tosses the glasses into the fire, and she's like, you know what? Essentially being like, I'm ready to confront this. And then Edmund appears and he's there, and she's like, it's just me and you. Because she probably thinks she ruined her chances with Jamie. So she's drunk and just being like, it's just us now, pal. Either way, I thought this was a really, really good episode. It was very like sad and somber and kind of quiet, and I feel like I wasn't saying a lot, but I was really just kind of trying to take it in. And you know, I didn't want to talk over scenes that were supposed to be like sad and deep and emotional. So sorry if I didn't talk a lot during the episode. Hopefully my discussion afterwards was adequate. But I think that's all I gotta say about this episode. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see the next episode. Yeah, let me know what you thought of this episode down below in the comments. Like if you want to. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. That means a lot. If you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode, you can go onto my Patreon. You just link up your own copy of the episode and you can watch along with me. That would be super fun. But otherwise, thank you for being here. I'll catch you next time. Peace.